Recording in progress.
Hello. Hmm. Yeah. Good morning, everyone. So last session we started discussing about working with forms in HTML. We learned about how to design a form element, and its attributes. We learned form attributes. So important attributes, we have ID, name, class, method, and action, and no validate. These are the attributes. We discussed some more important points, like, so what are the form methods? So two methods are there, get and post. And what is difference between get and post? These things also we learned. So we discussed some key points, like if data is submitted on get request, it will be in which place? Query string. On post request, form body. That is important. What is the advantage of posting data on get? What is the advantage of posting data on get? So you can cache data on get. What is the purpose of, what is the use of caching? I told you technical word. What is the use of caching? Caching saves what? Caching saves round trips. These technical words are important. What is round trip? What is round trip means? Round trip is the process of connecting with server for every request. If any data is frequently requested, we can save the data in the cache so that it will not connect to server every time. From the cache, it can get the data and it can display the data. That is what actually the advantage of caching. So you need to remember all these answers, right? What is difference? Why caching is important and all. And you remembered what is the limit of query string? Limit. How many characters a query string allows? 2048. That is the limit of query string, right? These are all important things we discussed in the last session. So, what are the form attributes and how to use those attributes and what are the key features, difference between get, post and all. Now, once we know about form, now one by one, we will learn about form elements. We will discuss about form elements. So inside form, how you can define elements. What are the elements defined in a form? Some more rules we learned yesterday. Can we have multiple forms in a page? Yes. Can we have nested forms? No, you cannot have a form inside another form, right? Now, form elements, how to handle them. Form elements, so many are there. One by one, we have to see. First, important in the form elements, we have text box element. So many elements are there. One by one, we will see. Text box element is nothing but it is used to handle string type input. It is used to handle string type input. Generally, what is meant by a string? String is a group of characters. So, which can be alphanumeric with the special characters. Any alphabet number with special character combination is called as a string. We call it as a string. And to take a string from the user, to present a string to user, which element is best? Text box. Actually, input is an element. Input is an element that presents text box. So input is an element that presents text box. Just input is enough, a text box will come. But what is problem is input allows any type of data. So if you want to restrict only string type, then you have to define type is equal to text. This is what we have to do. Actually, input itself is a text box. For example, see here, I will open our project and in this project, let's add a simple form. In this form, I am just giving a form and see here, I am creating a data list, data term. I defined some name, user name, and here I give an input. Another data term, I give an password, that is also input. I give an age, that is also input. I give an date of birth, that is also input. I give an everywhere just input. Actually, input is enough. Automatically, every input is a text box. Every input is a text box. So many people have a wrong idea about it. Generally, many people think like even some websites tell like input type text is a text box. No, input itself is a text box. You can see that clearly. Input itself is a text box. But what is problem with this? It can allow any value. Number, string, boolean. Boolean means true, false, date, anything you can enter here. I don't want like that. I want restriction. I want only number. I want only date. I want only time. If you want restriction, then restriction can be defined by using what? Restriction can be defined by using type. For string, what is the type we have to use? Text. For numbers, we have other types. We will see them. Currently, we will see how to use a text box. Text box purpose is string input. Its main purpose is string input. So you can define like this. Input type is equal to text. Without type text also, text box will come. But we can restrict the type for a string by using the type as text. That is the first thing you should know. So it is not good to give like this. What is good is you can give type. Type is what? Text. You will not see any change here. But later, how it takes value, how it presents value, all these matters, right? Other types we will see. How to define number, how to define dates, we will see. First, we will discuss about string only. Only string we will see first. So this is only one username. Its type is defined as what? Text. Now, for text box, lot of attributes are there. So many attributes are there for text box. Let's see what are those. First important attributes for text box. We have ID, we have name, we have class. These already we learned. Every text box have an ID, class and name. Same here while working with, I will give lowercase. Okay. Same you have seen while working with form. Form also same thing. But here one very important point is that what is ID? We already learned. ID defines unique reference name. Unique reference name. This is okay. We know this. So name it is used for a common reference. Class it is used to define multiple classes for CSS. We will learn those in CSS later. But what is the basic rule you have to know is ID, name, class, they doesn't matter for general form, but for elements in form, every form element must have name. It is not optional, compulsory. If name attribute is not defined, then form cannot submit its value. That is the mandatory thing about elements in form. When you design any element inside form, it is compulsory that every form element have a name. Mandatory. For example, see now, here we will put a button for submitting. Temporarily just add a button, submit. Later we will separately learn about buttons also. So many points are there about buttons. So now we are designing a form Inside the form, there is a text box and there is submit. What is the default method for form? I am not writing method. What is the default method for form? Get. Default method for form is get. Then when I submit the data, where it will be there? It will be in query string. In query string. See now, I am typing some name. I am typing some name and I am clicking on submit. When I am clicking on submit, the data is posted. You can see the data is posted, but it is not submitted in URL. That means you see question mark and it is not submitting anything. So you are submitting a form, but form is unable to submit the data of this element. Why it is unable to submit data of that element? As per the rules, every element must have a name. Every element must have a name. If name is not defined, then it cannot submit its data. So make sure that every element have a name. I will give a name as username. Now I am entering some name and click on submit. Now it can submit that here. So if name is not defined for any element, that element related data cannot be submitted by form. So whenever you design form, make sure that the elements in the form have a proper name. Name is used for reference, but it is not just only for reference. Form cannot submit the value of any element without name. So name is compulsory. ID, name, class. You don't give ID, class, doesn't matter. But you don't give name, it cannot be submitted. That's important. Next, here we have another attribute, value. It defines the default value to display. That means sometimes what we do is we don't want the text box empty. We want some value inside. Obviously, what happens? You might have seen so many account details. Already you registered and you go to account details. There you want to edit your account details. When you click edit, what it will happen? It will show those details in text box. That means text box is not empty. Text box is having a value. That value you can modify and you can update with new value. That means whenever form opens, by default, I want some value inside. Then we can define that by using what? Value. By using value. So it defines the default value to display. For example, see now, I am writing here value, some John. Then what happens? By default, it is having John. If I submit directly, that John is submitted. If I want, I can change. I can change and define different and I click submit. Now what happens? David is submitted. After submitting, the page will load again. When page loads again default value is John. So you want some constant value by default to display in text box. I don't want it empty. In that case, we can just give a value. So value defines the default value to display. So we can write like this. So input type is text. Name is equal to some username and value is equal to some value. Suppose I don't want value, I want some hint to display, not value, hint. Hint means it will help the user to understand what to type, but it is not the value which is submitted. Then we can use an attribute placeholder. Placeholder, it defines the watermark text to display in a text box if value is not defined. If value is not defined, what is the watermark text? If value is there, placeholder will not be there. If value is not there, then placeholder will be there. So you see now, I am removing, I will keep this value and I will put some placeholder and I will say name is required. This is the message I am giving. Now what happens is, you can see currently the value is John. I remove that John, automatically placeholder will come. The placeholder indicates the watermark text which is used as hint. Suppose you need to type a password, a hint for password is given in the background, that it must be 4 to 10 characters, it must be 15, at least one uppercase, like that. We can keep the hint inside that. Remember, when you enter any name, enter any value, the placeholder is gone. Placeholder will be displayed only when there is some value. When I submit now, it will submit empty. You can see it submits empty. Placeholder is not submitted. Placeholder is just a hint to display, and that hint will display when value is not there. If value is not defined, then we can display the placeholder. So usually we write like this. Input type is text, name is username, value is some John, and placeholder something like name required. Like this we can define. So we have name, value, ID, class, and placeholder. Another important, we have read only. Read only means it will not allow to edit value. That means you can only view value. You cannot edit the value. You cannot make any change. But very important, so it can submit value. So it will not allow to edit value. It is only to view the value, but it can submit the value. You see now here, I have default value John. I don't want this to be changed, fixed. I don't want to change, because you see sometimes when you go to edit my account, you can edit all details, but you cannot edit your user ID. User ID is fixed. For example, you see some websites like Aadhaar card. You go to edit Aadhaar card. You can edit some Aadhaar card details, but you cannot edit its number. It's fixed. That means they have to show that in a text box, but it should not be allowed to change. You cannot change it, fixed it is. But it is submitted. Why it need to be submitted? Because whose Aadhaar details are edited? That Aadhaar number is compulsory. That means we need that number, but we don't want to modify that number, but we want to submit the number. We want to show the number, we want to submit the number, but we don't want to edit the number. In that case, we can make it as read only. If I keep it read only, you see now, Here, I made it read only. I click inside and try to type. It's not working. It's not working here. I can't type, but I can submit. When I click on submit, it can submit that value. It can submit. You can see that it is submitting the value. So what is read only means? Read only will allow to show value, will allow to submit the value, but will not allow to change. There is another technique. Instead of read only, you can keep as disabled. Disabled, it will not allow to edit or submit. It will not allow to submit also. In some cases, we want to just show the ID. We don't want to edit. We don't want even to submit it. That means I don't want to submit, just show them. In that case, we can use disabled. For example, now I am using, instead of read only, disabled. If you write both read only, disabled will be the final one working, right? So disabled, you see now it is disabled. Disabled means I cannot make any change. For example, I will load this page fresh. I cannot do any changes. And let's submit. When I submit, it's not submitted also. It is showing empty query string. If other elements are there in the page, they are all submitted, but this is not submitted. So if anybody asks what is difference between read only and disabled, read only will not allow to modify, disable also will not allow to modify. Then what is difference? Read only allows to submit, but disable will not allow to submit. That's important. So that is read only, disabled. You define like this: input type is equal to text, name as username, and value is some John. And here we can give read only. Like this we can add. Or we can use another one, like instead of read only, we can keep disabled. Like this we can add. As I already told you in the beginning itself, attributes don't have any order, right? In a element, you can write attributes. Which attribute first, which attribute second, doesn't matter. You can write first. You can write like this: input disabled, type is equal to text, name is username. It's okay. Anything is possible. It's not necessary that type should be first. You can write anywhere you want, because many times you will see developers have an habit of writing about the type at the end sometimes. There is no order. You can write anywhere you want, right? So what is difference between read only and disabled? Next important, we have size. Size is nothing but it sets width for text box. Width for text box. Default width is 20. You can increase, you can decrease anything. Remember, size, it is not limit for text box. It is not limit for text box. So it is just width. It is just width, not limit. That means what? Suppose here I am using, why you need this size? Because so many times we need, like, suppose I am writing here some, like, okay, I am writing here, so your OTP, and here we are defining input type is equal to text. Okay, here OTP, we are asking for OTP. And here type is equal to text, name is OTP. OTP is only 4 5 characters. Why this much lengthy text box? So then what you can do is you can simply set size as 4, then size decrease, right? For example, sometimes you are entering like, so your card number. So data definition, input type is equal to text. So name is equal to card. And card number, I want little lengthy. Then I will give size as some 40. It will increase the size. You can increase the size. Width. Remember, here what is the size for OTP 4? What does it means? Will it allow only 4? No, it is not restriction. It is only size, right? You can enter any number of values into it. You can add any number of values, right? It is not restriction of element values. It is just width. We can put large width, we can put short width according to what kind of value you are taking, right? That is just a width, how you can define. So it is not limit. It is not limit. Input type is equal to text, name is equal to OTP, and size is equal to some 4 or 5 like this. This is just only width of text box. And important is here, when you are dealing with text box, if you want restriction, then we can use min length. Min length. It is validation. It is validation for the lower bound value. Lower bound value in text box. Text box. So min length is the validation. And important, max length. Max length is nothing but it is restriction. It is restriction for upper bound value in text box. In text box. Lower bound value means what? Minimum value. Upper bound value means what? Maximum value. Maximum value. Now the point is, what is difference between restriction and validation? What is difference between the word restriction and the word validation? Both are not same. Restriction and validation means, suppose validation I said 4, means they can enter more than 4 also, but it will say invalid. Validation means you can enter anything, but it will verify only 4. Restriction means, if I say restriction 4, it will not allow to type more than 4. So if you are restricting, do you need any validation? Not required. Validation not required because they can't type more than that. Restriction means it will not allow more than what you have asked to. Validation means you can enter anything, but it will verify certain. That is difference between validation and restriction. So min length is not restriction. Min length means what? Validation. That means, for example, I given here for this card, for this suppose OTP min length I given as 4. That means, can't I type less than 4? I can type less than 4. Is it restricting less than 4? It's not restricting less than 4. I can enter 5. I can enter 5 or 6, 10, anything. I can enter. because it is not restriction, it is validation. You can enter more than 4. But when you try to submit, so it will not allow to submit if this restriction is defined. That means what we have to do, min length is equal to how much? 4. Size is equal to how much? 4, right? And see here, generally, when you see min length, how to restrict maximum? So min length means you can enter more than 4 now. Less than 4 I entered. Now I click on submit. Then you can see it shows validation. That means can't you type less than 4? You can type less than 4, but it will verify. If it is less than 4, it will say I can't submit. So is it restriction or is it validation? Validation. Restriction means, see, suppose I am giving max length as suppose 8. If I give max length as 8, you see I am entering 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. After that, nothing is typed. That means now you are restricting up to only 8. He cannot go more than that. Now, do I need a validation here? Not required, because it is not allowing more than that. Validation is required when it is allowing anything, but it have to verify certain. So difference between validation and restriction. Min length is validation, max length is restriction. So if you say max length, suppose you see card, how many characters? So card max length is 16, and the min length also 16. That means exactly 16 allowed. Anything greater than, you can't type. Anything less than, you can type, but it will not submit. You can type, but it is not submitted. That means it is validation. You can't type at all. That means it is restriction. It is restriction. You see now, I am giving here minimum. That means 444, 555, 666, and 7890. These are 16 digits. And one more I am trying to type, not working. That means it is restricting to 16. If I entered 15 and I click on submit, it says please length is currently 15. Please make it to 16. So can you type 14 also? Yes. You can type 1, 2, 3 also, but it will not submit. It will validate, right? So min length, max length. Exactly how many characters you want to allow. You can put that restriction between min and max. Max length will not allow to go more than that. Min length, it allows you to type, but it will not allow to submit, right? If you exactly match, so then it can submit that value. It can submit the value. So this is what actually min length and max length. So how do you write this syntax? So we have an input, type is text. So name is OTP. And here we are defining min length is equal to some 6. Max length is also 6. Like this, we can put restriction. That means it will allow exactly how many characters? 6. Not less than, greater than. Suppose you want 4 to 10 characters. Then min length 4, max length 10. If you enter less than 4, it will verify validation and display that. If you try to enter more than 10, it will not allow. That is what actually min length and max length, right? Next important in the attributes, we have, so required. it will not allow to submit empty. So that means it defines that value is mandatory, compulsory. You can't submit empty. You cannot submit empty. For example, you see here, suppose I am not entering card number or OTP and I am trying to submit, it is submitted. Card is empty, OTP is empty. We don't want to submit without card number, or both are required, compulsory. Then simple for both of them, you add required. Here also you add required. Now this text box is having two validations. First validation required, second validation minimum maximum. Both will work. You see now I click submit. It says please fill. Okay, I am filling that. So then when I'm filling, and you can see I filled less, then one more validation will come. That means both validations are working. Both validation working. Okay, I filled correctly 16. I try to type anything extra, it will not type. I click on submit. Now it will verify the second one. For second one also we have restriction. You see minimum 4 characters. And minimum 4 characters, now it is okay. So we can set restriction by using what? Required. Required is used for mandatory fields. So we can define like this. Input type is equal to text, some name is equal to some OTP, and we define something like what? Required. That is another attribute required. Next important. So we have autofocus. Autofocus. It sets focus to element automatically on page load. This is very frequently required these days. These days, when you are using internet, you might have faced this problem regularly. Like what you have done is, suppose you have this form. Okay, you have this form. We opened a login or registration form. And after that, I am starting typing. When I am starting typing, nothing is typing. You have to click where to type. You have to click where to type. This generally we generally forget this. Many times you might have seen that you opened some form and started typing, nothing is typing. Why nothing is typing? Because where to start type, you have to click. Right. Suppose you opened some form, you filled the form. After filling, you submit. It went to server. Some errors are there, but error is somewhere in the middle. Then directly what it will do, it will focus that error field so that you can directly go there and make changes. That is simply done by using, just we have to set autofocus. If I set autofocus, I am giving autofocus to OTP. Then what happens? You see automatically cursor starts blinking there. It starts blinking. Whenever page opens, it will be cursor here. Can we set autofocus to multiple elements? No. If you set autofocus to multiple elements, it will work only for the first element. You can see it is going to work only for the first element. Suppose you see I refresh the page. When I refresh the page, cursor will be there. So that we can directly start typing in the form where the mistake happened. Remember, JavaScript changes this focus. Which field is having an error, that field will get focus later dynamically. So here we are setting autofocus to set that. Autofocus if I don't define for first field, automatically second field will get focus, right? This is basically highlighting the content, just what we have to do. So we need to define input type is equal to text. So name is equal to some OTP, and we set as what? Auto focus. This is another important attribute. Remember, you are learning only one element, right? Text box. These are all the attributes of text box. Text box have a lot of attributes. It have another attribute called data list. Text box have another attribute called list. List is nothing but it defines the data list. It defines the data list. List is nothing but it defines the data list which is displayed as autocomplete text for text box. Autocomplete text for text box. That's what actually list is. And here important. So data list is designed by using data list element, by using data list. And important, every data list contains option elements. This is a data list you need to know. So this is text box. That means what is the list here is actually you see now in this card number I click and type some card number or some OTP. That means I entered some card number. So some card number I entered like this. After that I entered some OTP and I click on submit like this. Now we are entering some details. We are handling some details. You see, when I click inside, that card number is displayed. What I previously entered. This is called autocomplete text. But what is the problem here is, this is the autocomplete text that gives you hints according to what you have used on this PC previously. How to remove it? There will be a delete button beside it. You can see there is a delete button beside it. Or you go to clear history and clean the history. This is deleted. But we want a permanent list, not a temporary list, so that that list will help them to find out what they are looking for. We designed a website in that hundreds of categories are there. User is searching. Then based on the keywords what he is typing, I need to show him results so that it is easy for him to choose. And that list is not history. That is permanently created list. We can do that by using data list. For example, see now in the form, I'm creating like this. I'm adding a div. I will keep div align as center. In this, I keep a heading, some Google, and I will put some text box. Input type is text. Name is suppose search. Okay. And size for this text box is 40. Below the text box, I will put a paragraph with a button called search. Now you can see this is how it looks like. We just kept a heading, text box and a search button. Now what happens is when user is typing inside the text, right? I want to show some alerts. Remember, this is not standard list. This is coming from my history. And if I delete my history, that data is lost. That is gone. I want a permanent list here. In that case, here we can add below the text box. I am writing a data list. Data list will have option, and option is I am giving like JavaScript examples. Okay. So like CSS tutorial. Okay. Like JavaScript projects. And I given here like CSS projects. And so like CSS examples. So like HTML samples. Okay. And here we have like HTML templates. Like this, I am typing. Now, like this, in a page, there can be so many lists. If there can be so many lists, then how to identify every list? And every list can be used only by one element. Every list can be used by only one element. So, for this list, we will give an ID. ID for this list is some terms, some ID. Now these, under these terms, all this data list is present. Now this text box have to use these terms. Then text box have an attribute called list. From where it has to get the list? It has to get the list from terms. Just the reference name. That is the data list ID name. Data list ID name. That's enough. Now you can see here, this is the text box. And when I click inside, now this time the help comes. So here we are clicking and typing here some name. What is it? Terms only, na? Right. Right. So here, what is it? Terms. It should give that, right? Let's see. List is what? Size, name, search. Okay, fine. Actually, this search name is used already for some other purpose. So we will change this as some search. I will save as search string. Okay. Now what happens here? You click inside, then it will display the list. This is not the list you can delete. This is the permanent list created, and you can clean history, but still it is available. Now remember, this is not a drop-down list. Usually drop-down list also looks same. But in drop-down list, you can't type. Here you can type. That means I am typing, suppose as tutorial. It will give tutorial related. I am searching for examples. It will give examples related. I am searching for CSS. It will give CSS related. That is what autocomplete. So what is advantage? You can directly choose and press tab, then it will add that here. This is called data list. Data list can be attached to any HTML element while typing so that it can show as, this is called autocomplete text. Autocomplete text we can add by using data list. Don't get confused because data lists, there are two data lists in HTML. One DL, DT, DTerm, DD, that is also called as data list. This is also data list. This is form data list. So general body data list is different. Body data list we have DL, that is also called as data list, right? This data list is defined with an ID. That ID is attached. That means syntactically we have a text box So, and text box have name, some search string, and here we have the option like list, and this is some terms. This refers to data list which have an ID called terms. And data list contains what? Option, some item 1, and close the option. Similarly, we have an option like item 2. These are displayed when user is typing something inside the text box. This is example. Let me copy this example for you. This is the example for data list. So you have a lot of options here now. So many attributes are there. And another major attribute is pattern. Remember, these are all some new attributes. Everybody who knows HTML don't know this. Right? People who are learning latest HTML, they know this. Right? Many people who are already experienced also, they don't know that text box have a list option. Because these are the new features of HTML. Many people who know HTML, they are not aware of all you have seen today. They know only few things like ID, name, class, size, right? Autofocus, placeholders. But there are so many attributes which are newly added into text box, which are not known to everybody who knows HTML. They are known to people who are learning latest HTML. They know these are all new features actually. Pattern is very major new feature, very major one. Earlier we have to do this with JavaScript. Pattern is nothing but actually it is used to verify the format of input value by using a regular expression. This is very important. It is used to verify the format of input value by using regular expression. For example, now what is that means actually? That means that suppose I am giving here something like data list. Suppose your mobile number. Right? That is your mobile number. That is data term. Okay. So data definition, I given text box, input type as text. So ID is equal to mobile, name is equal to some mobile. Now what should happen here is button is submit. This mobile number should be, so I will give a placeholder. It should be a US format mobile number. That means it should start with +1 and it should contain some 3 digits and space some 4 digits and space some 4 digits. Like this only it should allow. That means like this you have to allow inside the text box. Anything else other than this not allowed. That means it should start with plus parenthesis 1. After that, it should contain 3 digits number, not 340. It can be any 3-digit number. After that space, then 4 digits number, space, again 4 digits number. Anything 4 digits number. How you will write restriction for this? This is compulsory, mandatory. Every website password, they say password must have at least one uppercase letter. How to verify? Regular expression. Any validation related to form mostly depends on these regular expressions. We need to build a regular expression for that. Actually, for example, see, regular expression is nothing but actually regular expression is used to validate the input value by verifying with a pattern, by verifying with a pattern. And very important, regular expression is built by using two things: meta characters and quantifiers. These two are used. And remember, this is a very important concept. This you have to face and use in your future technologies: JavaScript, jQuery, Angular, React, Java, .NET. Everywhere regular expression is same. And I will not repeat this again anywhere now. We will detailedly discuss in HTML and we will use everywhere. That means in JavaScript we will use, in jQuery we will use, in other technologies also you will use. So here we are going to detailedly discuss about them. So we will not repeat this again and again in every concept, but in every area this is compulsory. And it is used in the same way. So meta characters, quantifiers, let's see what they are. What are meta characters? What are quantifiers? Actually, meta characters are generally known to everybody who know basic computer operating. Suppose if I asked you, show me all the files in your computer whose name starts with A and they are JPG files. If I ask you to get me all the JPG files in your computer at one place and show me whose name starts with A and they are JPG files. Don't know. That means you don't know just even how to search for files in your computer. Then how you will find that file? Right? You created some file. Somebody moved that file to some place. You don't remember the complete file name. You know only certain characters in that file name. How you will search for that? So we use meta characters. Actually, in the Windows Explorer, you see this is Explorer. This is the search box. Do you know this search box accepts regular expressions? Regular expression means you usually write .jpg. All JPG files will come. Right? So you have to tell the name starts with A and they are JPG. Then we used to write like this: A asterisk .jpg. That asterisk is a meta character. Asterisk indicates more than one and any. Means after A, there can be any number of characters. There can be more than one character. A, after A, it can be 1 or 2, but it should start with A and it may contain any number of characters, but should contain extension .jpg. These are the patterns actually. In basic computer operating, we use them. Right? So these are used in validations also. These are the patterns. Not only asterisk, there are so many such characters. You just know only asterisk. Regularly you see that. But there are so many other characters which you don't know. So actually, for example, see now. What are the meta characters? Let's see here. Suppose I am giving this validation for mobile number, we will able to do later. I will give here. So data term testing and data definition input type is equal to text. So I will give name as pattern test. Okay. And here we will write like this. Suppose I am giving a placeholder. In the placeholder, I am giving COLOUR and or COLOR. Like this I give it. That means now I want to allow only these two words inside the text box. Anything else entered other than these two words, it should not allow. As of now, text box is not having any restriction. That means as of now, you entered, it is allowing anything. But I need to allow only these two words. Anything else not allowed. Only these two words I want to allow. Now the question here is how you can set such restriction. For example, suppose in the pattern now, you write pattern. In the pattern, you write COLOUR. It will allow only COLOUR. COLOR not allowed. That means now you see, I type anything, it's not allowed. Please match the requested format. So I entered COLOR not allowed. COLOUR only allowed. Anything else not allowed. Then how do you allow those two? You can't put comma. You can't put space. Then with one word, you have to verify. Both verified. How that is possible at all? It's very much possible because what is the spelling for both of them? COLOR, another one is COLOUR. How to write patterns? First, you have to write what is common in both. Right? COLOR is common. Which one is changing? U is changing. U is changing. So how U is changing? In one spelling, there is no U. In another spelling, there is U. How many times U can be? One time U can be. Or it can be how many times? 0. Without U, 0 times. With U, 1 time. That is defined with question mark. And R. Question mark is a meta character. This question mark indicates the occurrence of U can be 0 times or 1 time maximum. That is finished. You can verify both spellings now. So that means now you see here, we are writing like this. Pattern. Pattern, I will write U question mark. That means in the meta characters, we have a lot of meta characters. Meta characters. So meta character, I will give the description. We will learn about so many meta characters here. First one, question mark. So it defines 0 or 1 occurrence of a character. 0 or 1 occurrence of character. The occurrence of character can be 0 or 1. That means you see now you type like this. Now you go here, you enter COLOR. COLOR allowed. It is submitted. I am entering COLOUR. Okay, it is also submitted. I am entering COLOUR. It is not allowed because U occurrence can be only once, because question mark indicates its occurrence can be only once. Right? It occurrence can be only once. That means only one. Right? Then it is allowed. That is the meaning of question mark. Later you will learn how to build lengthy expressions like a US phone number format. There are a lot of things to learn for that first. Another important character is plus. Plus, it defines one or more occurrences of a character. One or more occurrence of a character. One occurrence or more, not 0. Compulsory. It must be there. So later you will see such example. Patterns, we will see them. First thing, I will put in the same spelling so that you can understand. Plus, now what does it mean? It means it will not allow COLOR. U is compulsory because one occurrence compulsory, not zero, one or many occurrence. Many means 2 times U, 3 times U, 4 times U, it is allowed. That is not the correct spelling of color. I am explaining about character. Later we will put them in expression. We will see how to handle them. Right now the point is here. So I entered like that. Then COLOR, it is not allowed because plus indicates U occurrence is compulsory. Okay, I entered U, then it is submitted. I entered COLOUUR, that's also submitted. I entered COLOUUUR, that is also submitted, no problem. Any number of times you can enter that. But it must be there. One or more occurrences. Suppose you want 0 or more occurrences, then you use asterisk. Asterisk, it defines 0 or more occurrence. What is difference between asterisk and question mark? Question mark indicates 0 or 1. 0 times or 1 time, but asterisk indicates 0 times or many. 1 time, 2 times, 3 times, anything. 0 is not allowed in plus. 0 is allowed in asterisk. That means you are writing like this here. You are writing U asterisk. When I say U asterisk, that means COLOR, that is allowed. COLOUR, this is also allowed. COLOUUR, that is also allowed. There is no problem. So later you will understand where to keep them. Actually, at high level languages also, these characters are same concept. People don't know properly about them. For example, if you are learning some database softwares like Oracle and all, we write queries, select star from table name. And here, do you know what people tell about star? All fields. What all fields? It is not all fields. It is 0 fields or many fields. That means even there are no fields, this query will work. And it will show empty. If there are fields, how many fields are there? 1 or more occurrences, 0 or more occurrences. This indicates that 0 fields to any number of fields, access everything. That is the meaning of asterisk, not multiple. Means at even very high level, people also don't have a proper idea on what that character is correctly. Right? They think that all fields, they tell all fields actually. That is not all fields, that is meta character. It means 0 occurrence or how many occurrences? Many. These are used in very high level programming in future. Right? These meta characters will behave in the same way everywhere. Right? So we have a question mark, we have plus, and we have asterisk. These are considered as basic meta characters. You have a lot of other meta characters that we will see in next session. Another session we will see. Tomorrow session we will discuss about all meta characters. Initially with HTML we are going slow, little bit. So, but from CSS onwards we will increase. We will take it fast. Right? Now we will discuss more every day from after we finish HTML part. Right? That means every day we will spend more time. So after CSS, after HTML, because until HTML, we give time for you people to do practice and fit into our contents. Easily you do everything. Because from CSS onwards, every day you have to spend minimum 145 minutes. Right? 1 hour, 45 minutes minimum you have to spend because large topics will come. So HTML part, we will keep it short, limit. So once you get into this, then we will go more depth, more complex things. Okay, na? Right? Then tomorrow, don't miss the session. Because if you miss this, you can't deal JavaScript, jQuery, Angular, React, anything. Because this is the topic that repeats in every place. And tomorrow we will start that. Okay? Tomorrow we'll continue. Right?
Recording stopped.